Hi, I'm Chip, and today we're going to be working on a machine that when you pull the knob out on it, you can hear the motor running, or you may hear a loud buzz, but it won't agitate and it won't spin, but it will drain. I know just what's wrong with it, and I'm going to show you how to fix it. So let's get started. Alright, we're going to diagnose this machine. The way I diagnose machines of this type, I put it in spin mode. And these dogs not spinning, you hear that sound? So if your machine isn't spinning or agitating and you hear the motor running, and if the drain pump, if it will drain and the spin cycle but it won't spin, then you have a disconnection between your transmission and your motor. It's usually going to be a motor coupler. So I've already taken these loose. Somebody's bypassed the lid switch. That's not good. We'll have to repair that. We'll pop these clips out. We'll remove. Now let's get this thing up on something that we can work on. Now on the back of these machines, you'll see these holes here. That was made for a purpose. It's made so your cord doesn't get in the way when you're working on it or transporting it. Put it up on this so I can roll it around. Now the first thing we need to do is take off the water pump. These clips here, you just flip them off. And you turn them 90 degrees and they'll come right out of the motor slots. So you'll pull your water pump off and lay it aside. I always hook it in that little hole right there so it stays out of my way. We're going to unplug the motor. Now this one has a capacitor on the side and you have to be careful with that because sometimes those capacitors are charged. A lot of times they are. And I'm using the metal end of a screwdriver, so I want to keep my fingers away from that metal end because that thing will zap you. If you want to discharge, you take your, now if you short those two out, if you get a spark, it was charged and you've undone it. So anyway, we're going to take the motor loose, and it has clips on it like the water pump, and you can turn them 90 degrees. Clipped it back on there, didn't it? You can rock your motor and it lifts right out. Ah, look at there. We have a broken motor coupler. So what we're going to do is change this part and this part and this part. And look right here. I conveniently have new motor couplers. What I do is I get a socket that'll fit right in there and that where that metal part is. You line it on the shaft of the transmission and take your socket, flat part on, and just tap it into place. Doesn't take much. You want just even with the shaft. Tough. Okay, you put that rubber coupler on it. Same thing with your motor. Yeah, that's it. So now let's reinstall the motor. I'll put that hole up. You want to make sure that your connector's on the right hand side. You want to line your motor coupler. Make sure all 4 rubber motor mounts are in place. Now, sometimes it's hard with a new coupler because they are stiff. If it fits into place, it just drops. So to reinstall these, you want to take your motor clip, put it back in the slot, turn it 90 degrees, push it. Back in the slot, 90 degrees, push it. Now what I do, I look at the interface of the slot for the water pump, and it's pointing toward this foot, so you need to turn your shaft that direction and it should fit right down, and it does. Take your motor clips, your water pump clips, and line them in this motor slots and just push with your fingers and you're done. So now you want to reinstall your capacitor. And you know, it doesn't really matter when you're working with AC electrics. It doesn't really matter which connector goes where on a capacitor, because the current's going back and forth anyway. Don't like the way that is. But I'll fix that in a few minutes. So let's test it again. And our lid switch is already bypassed, so let's, there you go. Well, that brake hits hard, so we need to put some lube on it. Let's take it out here to the wash rack, and then we'll check everything else out. But right now, this little video was about changing the motor coupler. So as we fix other things on this machine, we'll cover them too.